I think to this day, no one knows and probably will never know the final count as to those who passed from this earth. And as we speak, the tens of thousands of displaced persons are still there. And let us think about it. I spent the morning with young kids, young children at the Blackman Gollop School, going into 23 different classes, and in almost every class, I reinforce the whole importance of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Or as they put back to me, if you want to treat people to treat you well, then you got to treat them good. And if you don't want people to treat you badly, don't treat them badly. It is inexplicable for me how the same weather system, Dorian, passed over us. And virtually no damage was done in this country, neither from the winds or from the rain. Minimal. 1 or 2 trees fell, but not really hurting anybody. We spent 36 hours, if you would recall, from the Sunday lunchtime right back through to the Monday night, mobilizing an entire nation, private and public sector. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the people of Barbados yet again for continuing to rise to the occasion to be able to meet all challenges whatsoever they are. And I can say without fear of contradiction that we receive support from all over this island. In fact, I recall passing at 2:30 in the morning, early Monday morning, and meeting with the member for St. Michael Northwest as he was supervising equipment that was in fact clearing the channel coming out of Brandon's, which was completely blocked up because of the deep fear that if we got too much rain, especially since that community is below the level of the road, that there would be serious flooding there. Same thing in the city of Bridgetown. I had just left there, and I believe that there's some remedial work still to clear up by Lobster Line, and I've asked the Minister of Public Works yesterday to make sure that is done. In Derricks, right there in the corner, the trucks were working well into 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. In Redmond Village, in Watton, in the constituency of the Honourable Member for Christchurch East Central, the member for Christchurch West was superintending that himself. In Murphy's Pasture, the member for the city and myself went down there early. And the whole nation mobilized. And everybody took it seriously. And I thank God for that. But less than a week later, the people of the Bahamas were put on notice of the same hurricane. And in the same way we were safe, regrettably, and couldn't explain how we were safe, the people of Abaco and Grand Bahama were the exact opposite, and far from just being the exact opposite, the system did the inexplicable and the unimaginable, and sat over those islands for near 2 days. Can you imagine the pounding, the water, the wind, or islands that are as flat as we are or flatter? And I ask us today to reflect on how lucky we are not to have experienced that. For this phenomenon of the climate crisis is truly upon us. Indeed, there is now a painting right next to the Ermentrude-Bourne committee room. That speaks to the climate crisis being here and now. In 2017, it was Dominica with Irma and Maria. It was Barbuda. It was St. Martin. And we all know that we are at the front line of these crises, even though we didn't cause them. And the strength and the regularity of these systems will carry us into completely different conversations. That is why this government held an insurance colloquium 3 weeks ago to begin to understand the impact on the insurance costs for business people and households in our nation. And we are conscious that it is likely to have severe impact. It is also why your government in here, we have taken decisions in the restructuring of our bonds as part of the debt restructuring exercise. We did it last year with the domestic debt, and we hope to do it once the international external debt restructuring finishes, and I anticipate that by tomorrow we will have the results of that debt restructuring exercise. But that we discovered that it was critical for us to put in a natural disaster clause that will allow us, once the systems are of a certain size, that we can suspend the payment of principal for 2 years and capitalize the interest and back-end it on the financial instrument, interest for 2 years and back-end it and capitalize it on the financial instrument. I say all of that because much of what we do will have to change to be able to prepare. But the bottom line is that the scale of the damage, as it was in Dominica, as it is in the Bahamas, as it was in Barbuda, is horrific. And can you imagine, Mr. Chairman, not being able to go to work and earn a salary when the week comes, not having any of your possessions, having still to make sure that your children are taken care of, no money coming in to buy food, no school available for the children to go to immediately, and you have to literally take up those tens of thousands of people and find shelter, find schools, deal with the medical needs, deal with their ability to eat and to earn. And it takes time. We are not a rich country, and by every stretch of the imagination, we are going through difficult times. But we are a people born of certain values. And however difficult it is, the Sherpa mentality that was instilled into so many of our families across this nation, to which I had opportunity to refer on Wednesday as I addressed the St. Mary's Church lunchtime lecture, is what continues to inspire us as to the value and virtue of sharing however little we have. And to that extent, therefore, as Minister of Finance, I've recommended that the sum of $1 million Barbados dollars be transferred to the people and government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas as an expression of solidarity on the part of the people of Barbados as the people of Bahamas go through this very, very difficult time. Dorian passed since the 1st of September. There are still people who have not been able to come back to normalcy in the Bahamas, too many. And the people of this country, in fact, I saw as recent as a week ago, school children still collecting money and giving checks. And I was very proud because it is that sense of commitment to our brothers and our sisters that we want to foster in this nation, be they our brothers and sisters within this country our brothers and sisters regionally or internationally. This is the best of what we can represent as a people. And in the past, when it happened with Haiti, government of Barbados would have given a similar sum. In the past, we've given to other countries as they've gone through these unfortunate natural disasters. And I am therefore, Mr. Chairman, proud to ask this honorable committee to support the placement of $1 million at the disposal of the Cabinet Office in order to forward on to the people and government of the Commonwealth of Bahamas. I'm obliged to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much.
I beg to move that head 15 stand part.
Head
15.
15. Question is that head 50, Honourable Member, 50 or
15,
15? 15. Thank you very much. Question is that head 15 now stand part. All those members in favour, please say yes. All those against, please say no. It appears as if the affirmations are unanimous. Thank you very much.
Head 30, Office of the Attorney General, $850,000.
Mr. Acting Chairman,
Some of that for me.
I seek the Chamber's consent to a supplementary in the sum of $850,000, sir. This amount is to be used to carry out capital works at the Forensics Center of Barbados.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, the Forensic Census Center was an initiative of this administration in the early 2000s. Over the ensuing years, the center has been less and less able to satisfy the requirements of the Royal Barbados Police Force in respect of the various analyses that are required. They are still able to conduct analyses of samples for drugs, gunshot residue, and one or two others. But one critical area, Mr. Acting Chairman, that the laboratory is simply not able to do relates to the area of DNA testing. Now, sir, DNA testing, when this was conceptualized, when the laboratory was conceptualized, would have really been in two forms. One, in terms of DNA testing for scenes of crimes, but also, sir, to stem the outflow of US dollars that Barbadians were spending to have DNA tests done for the purposes of establishing or denying paternity. A laboratory is a very special place, a very special creature. And because of the sensitivities of the equipment, any imbalance in the environment can throw off tests completely. You would appreciate, Mr. Acting Chairman, that where the life of an individual is at stake in a prosecution, or where an individual's freedom is at stake in a prosecution, you simply cannot afford to have equipment functioning below a reasonable level of accuracy. But equally, in relation to other kinds of tests, you're required to make sure that the conditions in the laboratory meet the most stringent of standards. And this is all so that you protect the accused and that you satisfy the person who needs to rely on the forensics laboratory for testing. Mr. Speaker, the laboratory has suffered over the years with lack of maintenance, both lack of preventive maintenance and also maintenance to keep its plant in the conditions that it should be kept in. There is a tremendous requirement for its services, but it is simply not able to carry out the kinds of tests and so on that are required. In order to be able to achieve this purpose, Mr. Speaker, we need to carry out certain capital works to ensure that the building is in a proper condition, to ensure that the air quality is at the highest quality to ensure that there are no contaminants that are likely to affect the samples. This amount, sir, when applied, should see the laboratory able, there's still one or two other little things that need to be done, but they will be done in the next financial year. But it's vital that this supplementary expenditure be granted so as to facilitate these works being done as a matter of urgency. Beg to move that this head stamp part.
I beg your pardon, Honourable Member. Could you repeat the question? No, I was in
Beg
conversation.
to move that head 30 stamp part.
Head 30.
30.
Thank you very much. Seconders, please. Thank you. Question is that head 30 now stand part. All those in favor, please say yes. All those against, please say no. The affirmations are unanimous.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think
Jeff,
we're done
that's
for
it?
there.
Those are all?
There are more to be done?
Shouldn't you have raised your question during the debate itself?
What do you
Shouldn't you have raised your question? You did? It reads clearly. It reads clearly. Every person going can take 13 grams. Yeah, well, you're right. It reads clearly, Joe. Yeah. Well, it also makes sense. It makes it's consistent with the intent of the legislation that people in worship should be allowed to have their thing. So you had raised it today? So my friend Simmons wouldn't even bail me out.
Process ain't finished yet.
Mr. Acting Chairman, that you do not report to His Honour the Deputy Speaker. the passing of one money resolution in the Standing Finance Committee.
You need a seconder, please? Thank you. Question is that I now report back to the Speaker as indicated by the Honourable Member for St. Joseph. All those in favor, please say yes. All those against, please say no. The yeses are unanimous. Thank you very much. You can tell.
I gave you it. I gave you it just now.
He out there. He's outside. I'm going to report you. I'm going to.
Oh, shoot. He coming.
Where's the notice board?
I had given you one.
Yeah.
You put it with my from Mr. Basket area. That's the whole notification. From Basket. I got them one notification. There's something here.
The chairman of committees have reported passed on one bill in committee.
So, Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the resolution be read the first time.
Seconded. The question is that this resolution be read the first time. All members in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. Second time.
So, Deputy Speaker, I beg that the resolution be now read a second time.
Question is that this resolution be now read a second time. All members in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that the resolution be now agreed to.
The question, seconded. Question is that this resolution be now agreed to. All members in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. Resolution is now passed.
Papers recommitted.
Committee of papers.
So,
Member
Mr.
for the
Deputy
city.
Speaker, I'm commanded to lay the duties, taxes, and other payments exemption, Bank of New York, Mellon Corporation, Order 2019.
Yeah.
Government notices recommitted.
Member
Deputy
for the city of
Speaker, I
Bridgetown.
beg to give notice of a resolution to grant the sum of $1,100,000 from the Consolidated Fund and to place it at the disposal of the government to supplement the estimates 2019-2020.
Right. Adjournment.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, that brings us to the end of government's business for the day. I beg to move that the House be adjourned until Tuesday, 26 November at 10 a.m. in the forenoon.
Seconded. The question is that this House be now adjourned until Tuesday, the 26th of November at 10 o'clock in the morning. All honourable members in favor say aye. Those against say no. I think the ayes have it. This House is now adjourned until Tuesday, the 26th.